Good morning, everyone. I'm recording an FSD video. Obviously, for those who have seen my other videos, we're in a different car. We are in a Cybertruck. So we have FSD 13.2.4, and this is a hardware 4 car. So got a couple of destinations programmed in just to test out FSD. Currently in a parking lot, so I'm going to navigate out of the parking space and then I'll start up FSD. So this isn't my first drive with FSD and the Cybertruck, but this is my first drive being recorded. So a couple of first impressions of drives that I did not record. Obviously FSD 13 on hardware 4, which this truck is miles ahead of hardware 3 Model Y. So the impression is that obviously very smooth on the startups and stopping, and just very smooth in general for FSD handling various situations. We don't have the FSD blasting off from start anymore, so it's much more controlled. So I'm on the chill profile with 0% speed, set speed. So I've got that on 0% because I don't want to have it go over in the city, and I'll just manually adjust it if I need to. So I've got the rear view mirror set up here. I had it here before, but it was a little bit small, so I'll see how this works out. So come up to a red light here. So just a little bit of background about the Cybertruck. So got the Cybertruck earlier this month actually, and so far have been very pleased with the performance and the overall handling of such a big truck. Four-wheel steer definitely helps. Steer by wire definitely helps. Lock to lock, 170 degrees, I believe, lock to lock. I suspect we'll do well on this ride. This isn't too challenging for FSD, but just wanted to have it on video as the software progresses. So I was on FSD 13.2.2, but just got it upgraded yesterday. So I figured I'd just do the 13.2.4 video instead of the 13.2.2, which I had recorded. So one thing I do notice, and I've seen a couple of people report this on X, not just for Cybertrucks, for hardware 4 Model Ys as well, is that the car tends to hug a particular side of the lane. So I've experienced a couple of times where it was very, very close to the sidewalk when I was on the inside lane, and I actually had to disengage to sort of recenter myself. So at first I thought it was just the Cybertruck being so big, that it sort of drifts and corrects itself, but it takes a little bit of time to correct itself because of the size. But again, I've seen that reported with a Model Y car on FSD 13. So we can see right now I'm sort of hugging the center median. I mean the center lane line. Oh, that was close to that truck. So we're making a left turn here with a left arrow, so it's a protected left turn. We've got some construction up ahead, so we'll see if there's any lane changes by cones. Okay, so we got a green arrow. So we do have some lane changes here, so let's see how this handles it. Okay, so all right, looks good. Handled that well and kept a relatively safe 20 miles an hour through that. We stopped well beyond the bicycle green patch on the ground. Okay, it's pulling into the parking. I actually edited out the wrong well, this is a good okay. It attempted to pull into the parking lot. And I'll put it in park, and it's telling me to pay attention. Okay, so I'll pay attention and let's see what it does. Okay, let me put it in park and I'll show you what the car did. Okay, so I guess it attempted to park, or it just sort of pulled over. There's no cars around in this parking lot. The establishment is closed, but it got out of the main roadway, I suppose. So this version of FSD for the Cybertruck, I believe, does not back up, but I'll try it out. So I've got the next destination plugged in, activated FSD. Let's see if it does anything. Yeah, no, doesn't look like it's going to do anything. I don't want it to move forward into the wall in front of us. So let's see, I'll straighten out and then I'll okay, so it detected the driveway. Oosh, it didn't really stop. There's no stop sign there, but check out that Volkswagen Rabbit. Wow. All right, so I programmed in this next destination to hopefully have some pedestrian interactions. So fit and finish of the truck. A couple of squeaks and rattles, and the motor noise generally is louder than the Model 3 or Y. That's been widely reported. Okay, decided to take the side streets. So this is a very narrow street, so let's see if there's any cars coming. I'll be prepared to take over if needed. Okay, it's slowed down for the intersection. No stop sign, so it's good. Very good at moderating the speed when it's slowing down. So a couple of Cybertruck news going on regarding the high voltage battery or the traction battery. So we were relatively close to that car there. So I see a Cybertruck up ahead, 8 or 9 Cybertrucks. And this is a relatively small city. So I've programmed in the next destination. Okay, that's an interesting route that it's going to take. It's not a FSD issue, but it's a navigation issue instead of going down straight. Okay, so truck pulled out of the driveway. FSD handled that well. Saw that and slowed down smoothly. Onto another very narrow street, so let's guess that's a good test. We have a cyclist coming up. That's an awfully strange route that it's taking. Four-way stop. We have the right of way now, so we're going. I'm fine at taking this route. We'll get on a busy road. Well, I guess not. We're taking the side street again. So we're going back the way we came. Okay, slow down for this pedestrian on a skateboard. So we have a person in front of us making a left turn. Let's see if we, okay, well, she overtook oncoming, oh, okay, they're making a left turn as well, so I do still have my Model Y hardware 3. However, it's on FSD version 12, so unlikely I'll record FSD 12 on that car. So mostly I'll probably focus on recording FSD 13 on the Cybertruck. So we're backtracking the way we came. Back to the news about Cybertrucks and the traction battery, or the high voltage battery. Several postings online about there being a stop sell or stop delivery of Cybertrucks. People are guessing that it may be due to the HV battery being replaced. We don't have specific confirmation from Tesla, and I actually have a service appointment tomorrow to take care of a couple of delivery issues that I noted. They did provide a loaner, which was interesting, and the service is supposed to take a day. So I'll definitely have more information tomorrow when I drop off the car. People are speculating that it's a silent or a quiet recall. Again, all speculations, nothing confirmed, nothing official. But there are a handful of cases online that I've read, at least 5 cases that I've read. And this coincides with the fact that there are no new people reporting that they've taken delivery of new Cybertrucks. So putting 1 plus 1 together, I suppose people are speculating that there's a stop sale. So picked up mine from inventory. I don't know if they've done anything, if there's indeed an HV issue. Hopefully they've already addressed it before me taking delivery. Okay, let me edit the trip again, and we'll head to our next destination. So I need to get used to the truck being so big. I feel like we're oftentimes very close to parked cars. So we still don't have ASS, actually starts Smart Summon, I believe. So difference between the Cybertruck FSD and so people crossing here, so FSD was about to proceed and then stopped. So that was perfect. Okay, back to the difference. So 3Y and S legacy cars, I'll call it, or non-trucks, have Smart Summon and Auto Park for FSD 13. Meaning FSD will attempt to park itself. Cybertruck doesn't have those features yet. So we're signaling because that was a merge lane. And looks like someone is about to cross the road here. Okay, we're gonna go past them before they reach the sidewalk. So left turn here. Currently it's a green arrow. All right, so we're good to make the left. So one thing I've noticed with FSD 13 is that lane selections is still an issue, and not because of this case, but there are times when we're just driving along and it decides to switch lanes for no real reason, right? So not making a turn up ahead and preparing for that turn to move into the lane, it just decides to make a lane change, and then about 500 or so feet down the road it changes back into the original lane. Yeah, so let me pull up the camera to show the sides. I feel like we're very close to the parked cars, so hopefully we'll be able to catch this on camera. So notice how close we are to the cars. Literally sometimes less than a foot away from the cars. Just like that truck right there. Now I do understand that we are in a very relatively narrow lane. So up ahead we have a merge lane. We have a Model Y that'll go ahead and we'll merge behind them. 2025 cars are available in inventory with no discounts so far. 2024 cars as well as 2024 demos have a small discount. I do wonder if they are delivering those cars or if they're impacted by what we speculate as a stop sale. So we have a left turn here. Cross traffic has a red, but we don't have a green arrow. So it's a relatively tricky intersection. FSD seems to know that they have a red. I'm not sure how. Is that through navigation data? So I noticed the stops, the NHTSA stops to 0 is a little bit longer. It feels a little bit longer than on the Model Y. So we stop at 0 and then one 1,000, 2, 1, yeah. Okay. So very bumpy roads here. The air suspension is good at absorbing the bumps, but I've got this annoying creak to my right. We're riding on this section of the road where it's been repaved or dug up. Bunch of construction going on up there. I don't know what's going on there. So sometimes when there's people behind me, and when we approach a stop sign, I'll sometimes hit the accelerator at around 1 or 2, just so that we start moving and not annoy the person behind us. We're heading into the parking lot. Let's see what it does. Okay. Let me edit trip and okay, what is it doing? That was weird. So we did have an oncoming car. It positioned itself as if it was going to back into that space, which is a handicap space. But it didn't execute the backup maneuver. Because I don't think FSD parks itself in the Cybertruck now. So no stop sign here. It's making a left. Pedestrian crossing. We have the USS Hornet in front of us. This carrier was part of the World War II efforts. It's long since been retired. And it's now a museum. So we are in the Alameda Naval Base. The naval base, I believe, stopped operating in the late 80s or early 90s. So prior to that, it was an active naval base. And now it's just a bunch of warehouses, hangars, and whatnot. Some are being utilized as restaurants and sports facilities. I believe there's been an effort to revitalize and reuse this area, but obviously a lot of toxic contamination in the ground that needs to be addressed. But there have been housing developments going up, which is good to see. So we need to make a right turn here. And it's attempting to go back the same way we came. I'll disengage so that I'll force it to take a different navigation route. All right, now it's taking a different route, so. Yeah, so this is pretty easy stuff for even hardware 3 cars. I believe the challenge is when we get to something like San Francisco or even some downtown areas like Berkeley or something, where there's a lot of pedestrians, bikes, people jaywalking, cars doing illegal maneuvers and whatnot. That's when we'll really challenge FSD. So that couple walking the dog was looking at the car. A couple of conversations I had with people about the Cybertruck, and I would say 9 out of 10 of them, of those conversations, turn into a political conversation about 2 individuals who are associated or closely associated with this car. So my guess is that there's a lot of dislike for the Cybertruck, mainly due to the relationships with those 2 individuals, who I'll not name because I don't want to turn this into a political conversation. And I'm indifferent about that. Obviously I bought the car, or the truck. I keep saying car. I bought the truck because of the capabilities and the quirkiness of the truck, and not because of I'm in favor or not in favor of certain people. But I guess my point being is that a lot of people associate this truck with some political figures. So I intend to do some road trips with the truck, and that's the main reason why I got it. It's got loads of space for me to be able to pack my stuff, and air suspension will result in a relatively comfortable ride during those trips. So we haven't had any unprotected lefts here. Let me see if I can think of an unprotected left. I suppose going into one of these side streets and coming out. Yeah, why don't we do that? Okay, so let me turn around, and then hopefully we'll get a situation where we have cars coming. So making a U-turn here, lock to lock. Let's see if I can, yes, made it all the way around. All right, so let me activate FSD now. So we'll need to make an unprotected left here. A mini unprotected left, I suppose. Cars are going relatively slow in both directions. So we got cars coming from the right and clear on the left. So FSD pulled out to check and immediately stopped. Now we have cars coming on the left. So we do have a center median. I believe it's called the suicide lane, but it's not pulling into there. So we're clear to go now. Okay. So that was an easy unprotected left. Okay, so let's see if it, yeah. So let me pull up the camera and I'll so if you go back a little bit, you'll see that there's a patch, this green patch here for bicyclists to stop. And looking at that, we're obviously in the middle of that patch or that area. So I preferred if FSD, like that car to my right, stopped before that line. But we're obviously halfway in that area. So I drive mostly in chill mode because I don't want FSD to constantly make lane changes. I notice in, not just in hurry mode, but even in standard mode, that it sometimes is wanting to lane change more frequent. A little bit of information about the city I'm in. So Alameda consists of two parts. One part, where we call the main island, is an island. So it's actually completely surrounded by water. And the island was actually man-made. So the estuary connected on the side of where Oakland is was actually connected a long time ago. And they sort of dredged through that channel there, or whatever it's called, that marshy land, to make this a proper island. The other part of the Alameda is connected to the Oakland airport, and water on the remaining 3 sides, I believe. So the city is known very strictly enforce the speed limits here. So most of all of Alameda is 25 miles an hour. And people before the pandemic used to get pulled over for going above 30. But a lot less of that now since the pandemic. Okay, so there's no one behind me, so I didn't intervene. So the bicyclist to the right was on the sidewalk, and FSD perhaps thought potentially that she can come into the road, so it slowed down for that. The angle of the bicycle was coming out of a turn, so it was sort of facing the road perpendicular, so understandable why FSD was cautious in that point. So up at our destination up ahead, the navigation is calling for us to make a U-turn and enter that parking lot. But I've noticed a couple of times it doesn't actually make the U-turn, it actually makes a left turn. I don't know if it's because FSD thinks that road is too narrow to complete that U-turn, and it decides to make a left turn. So let's see what happens here. So again, right here. So that's a U-turn, and we'll make a left turn, I believe. Okay, so this is the spot where navigation is requesting a U-turn, or is directing a U-turn. And let's see if it does a U-turn. So we should have the right of way now. Yeah, so it's making a left turn instead. And it's making a left turn into here where it says do not enter. So I'll end the trip here. So does FSD read road signs? That's an interesting question, because if it did read road signs, there were 2 big do not enter signs when it tried to enter into that driveway. So my guess is no. I'm not sure. Okay, so just some quick thoughts. FSD obviously handled the drive very well. We had no interventions. Couple of things to note. I feel like we are sometimes very close to the sidewalk. It hugs the lanes, close to parked cars, and possibly that's just the nature of this being such a big car or truck. Second thing is the bicycle area, the green area on the road. We stopped 2 times on top of or in the middle of that section where FSD really should stop behind it. I'm sure obviously if there was a bicycle list there, it would stop behind it, but yeah, we should stop before that line. So aside from that, I would call this a perfect drive. So thanks for coming along with the ride, and hope you enjoyed the Cybertruck compared to my Model Y. And I'll possibly film some road trip footages when I get a chance, if I'm up for it. Thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe. Until next time.